What's up, Solutionaries? I am Maj Toure. Welcome to the Maj Toure Show. We got America's real problem and why the Republicans are failing. What's up, y'all? Y'all know the routine. Come in, chop it up. Tell me what platform you're watching from. Comment if you're watching on YouTube, especially youtube.com/Maj Toure. Subscribe to the show. You're tapping into the Maj Toure Show where we talk about politics, pop culture, sports, entertainment, all of the things to make sure that we're turning them into solutions. We got Mamdani here. Congratulations to him, not just for winning New York. He did several things here. One, he exposed how much people don't pay attention. He ran a magnificent campaign. He's convinced most of you Americans that, or you New Yorkers, I should say, that we're going to ignore reality and go into la la land. He's made that happen. And he's exposed a lot of you for not knowing exactly who you voted for or how to run a successful counter campaign. So there's several things that we can learn from this Mamdani run. It's amazing to watch. It's amazing to watch. A self-proclaimed democratic socialist has literally gotten control of, to the extent that there's no city council and, city council gets in the way, but has gotten control of the financial capital of America. And it's amazing to watch. And it's amazing to watch people on the right make these failures. And so tonight we're going to have that conversation and do all of those things. Guys, I'm going to ask you all to obviously share the space all over the place. If we want to stay free from ads and me doing ad runs, unless it's for a company that I fuck with, like PA7. I didn't get paid for this. I just think it's funny to say it. PA7, right? I just got this stuff from the Ambrosia Collective. Shouts to my team, the guys in the team over at Ambrosia Collective. They did not pay me for that. Those are just my homies, so I buy their stuff and whatever. So if you guys want to help us not have to run ads, please share the space all over the place. America's got a problem on his hands, y'all. Not just with Mamdani, but Mamdani is a bigger symptom, a signal of a bigger symptom. It's bigger than any election or one single president. And there's too many people on the right that think they can sit back just because Trump won. And we are literally, with the gentleman on the screen, showcasing exactly how that's the case. That's what's happening. Y'all got comfortable. Y'all got fat. Y'all thought Trump was the end all be all, even though presidents have 2 terms. This is Trump's last term. And I will not give Trump a A, a B, or a C. But nonetheless, today's conversation tonight is not about Donald Trump. It's about us, the American people, the people that believe in limited government, the people that believe in liberty, the people that believe in freedom, the people that really, I watched a year ago. I watched Donald Trump really, maybe up to 2 years ago, really push to put together a team. I always call them the Avengers. This administration was supposed to look like the fucking Avengers. And he's done a 180. But the people that got him into office, we're talking about libertarians, we're talking about moderates, right? We're talking about Republicans, all of these folks, they got Trump in and totally fucking tapped out. And Mamdani is literally an example of what that looks like. Okay? We had Donald Trump actually campaign and give the cosign for Governor Cuomo, the lifelong Democrat. Even when Silwa, the Republican candidate running for mayor in this race against Mamdani, and Eric Adams dropped out, which is, questionable reasons. We had Adams drop out. We had Cuomo, who literally 5 years ago was a granny killer with the ventilators in New York. Okay? He should not be nowhere. He should be banned from New York. Okay? However, Donald Trump got behind Cuomo, not Mamdani, not the actual Republican candidate. Now, mind you, this Republican candidate was the founder of the fucking Guardian Angels in the 1970s. So some of y'all are going to talk this culture war shit. Y'all going to say, oh, the culture war. So you got to tell the story. Politics is downstream from culture, which is true. Got some great coffee here. Sipping out of our Being a Bitches Un-American mug. If you guys want to support our show, support our work, make sure you grab some merch. blackgunsmatter.shop. You can get the merch. If anybody wants the direct link, shoot me a DM and I'll chop it up with you. But anyway, Trump campaigned damn near last minute for Cuomo. He did not campaign for the Republican running against Mamdani. a lot of people sat back. So all of the pundits, and I've been damn near saying this all for the last few months. All of the pundits, all of the social media influencers talking about race and Indians and this, that, and the third. Let me tell y'all something very, very fucking clear. Political pundits do not determine the outcome of local elections. I want to say this again. Political pundits and your fucking influencers just strumming up rage bait, talking the racist bullshit. They're not the new wave of political wins. They're not. Because if they were, the Indian, because there's been a lot of race hate going around, and a lot of your pundits is, hating the blacks, hating the Jews, hating the whatever. And there's legitimate critiques that can be had about Israeli government, so forth and so on. So there's nuance to everything. But all of your pundits on the right are talking about all of this shit is black people bad for however fucking long. And now a self-proclaimed motherfucker went on The View, daytime television, and openly said he is a democratic socialist. And y'all was cool with it. Y'all let it. Instead of y'all talking about Sliwa, talking about that story, doing none of that, you was arguing about stupid shit. And the democratic socialist is now in control of the financial capital of America and potentially the world. While many on the right sat back. And there's a way to be critical. I voted for Trump this go round. Okay? I didn't think Kamala Harris had the wherewithal. And now in hindsight, shit, low-key, if Kamala Harris would have been in office, maybe Republicans would have not been asleep at the wheel as they've been since last November through January. Maybe. So I'm even reevaluating that. I just knew that Vivek Ramaswamy, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, fucking, you know what I mean? That packaging looked so great. All defected Democrats going to fight against Trump's got cheated in 2020. All of that shit, it looked great. It looked great. And that shit has been one of the biggest political disappointments in 180s that I've seen. And it's because the general public, us on the right, are not involved in local politics. When you tap onto my show, when I talk that politics shit, I know what I'm talking about. I know political strategy, right? How do I know? How did I learn? Because I went and ran a campaign in local government, got my ass whipped to see what I could learn. That happened. I ran for city council at large in Philadelphia as a libertarian, not hiding as a Democrat and pretending later. No, I wanted to learn. I got all of the signatures. You need 10 times the amount to get in as a third party candidate as you do a Republican or Democrat in Philadelphia. I did it. So it ain't about sitting back. And when we're talking about sitting back, that's what we've done on the right. We've instead of galvanizing and working together to put people together to build coalition and unify against the state and overreaching government, we've devolved into this, your religion is trash, my religion is this. Never mind that all of them are supposed to be trying to find God. We're having this conversation while the Democrat socialists win. So I'm going to play some of the stuff that the Democratic Socialist has openly said. Okay, we're going to start specifically with this right here. Let's play it. Let's see what he says.
And we have to ensure that we are unapologetic about our socialism. There are also other issues that we firmly...
We have to make sure that we are unapologetic about our socialism. Socialism. He said it, but let's play it some more. Let's play it again.
And we have to ensure that we are unapologetic about our socialism. There are also other issues that we firmly believe in, whether it's BDS, right? Or whether it's the end goal of seizing the means of production.
What did he say? Or whether it's the end goal of seizing the means of production. That, boys and girls, when the state controls the means of production, that is communism. See, when I say these shirts, we got these t-shirts, right? When we got fuck socialism, fuck communism, fuck fascism, y'all think I'm just trying to be tongue in cheek. I'm going, we need everyday billboards telling people, fuck that bullshit that you might think is okay. And history's on our side. History has shown that communism has never fucking worked. You want to talk about, obviously, Russia, okay? communist China, Russia, the you want to talk about North Korea, you want to talk, it doesn't matter. Whenever communism has happened, it has been a fucking bloodbath, and death has followed, not and famine. Okay? So we got somebody saying we have to be unapologetic about our socialism, and we have to be unapologetic about our ultimate end, which is seizing the means of production. This is not AI. Let's play it again. Because y'all gonna think I'm just trying to sell t-shirts to make $10 million. I sell t-shirts because it's a visual representation. This is a propaganda war. Our propaganda is fuck your communism. We badasses because we are individual liberty, people that choose to participate voluntarily in things to strengthen individual rights and limit government. That's the badasses that we are as solutionaries. These motherfuckers jump out there with a smile and a nice little haircut and act like they didn't just say something that your politicians would have been tarred and feathered for saying a few hundred years ago. But I know they've misinformed the hood, so we don't really communicate with the same energy when it comes to it, because most of us just trying to just pay the bills and keep our head down. That's the problem. You're not involved. That's the problem. People on the right got comfortable once Trump is in, and Trump is doing shit that ain't limited government conservatism. So this person is saying this shit, and y'all think I'm just saying it just to sell t-shirts. I'm saying it because we have to have a cultural assault in the most respectful way. In the battlefield of ideas, everything is the potential for propaganda. Whether the propaganda is in alignment with your liberty, defending those liberties and freedoms, or in alignment with overreaching encroachment of the state, it's going to be propaganda regardless. Okay? This motherfucking troglodyte, I can't even call him a troglodyte. First of all, he comes from money. His family's fucking loaded. I'm talking about like $100 million, $200 million loaded. That's where his family comes from. Okay? So all of this socialism, communism shit for a motherfucker that got a manicured beard and that family's swimming in the dough. Come on now. You don't win the mayoral race of New York without spending a lot of money. And that's not communism. That's not socialism. That's free market enterprise. That's what some call capitalism. But let's play.
Also other issues that we firmly believe in.
Also other issues that we firmly believe in.
Whether it's BDS, right? Or whether it's the end goal of seizing the means of production.
He did something right there that I want y'all to pay attention to. Okay? In media and propaganda, most effective devil in America, when you in sales, I'll tell y'all a quick story. In sales, when I used to work at Foot Locker years ago, if you sold a decent amount of shoes, Foot Locker would always try to have all of their employees sell 40% in multiples. Okay? The 40, right, what Big Rob just said, the chuckle. Okay? They would want you to sell 40% minimum in multiples, meaning if you went in the Foot Locker back in the day, even now, if you got some sneakers, they're going to try to sell you some spray, especially if you get some boots, right? Or they're going to try to sell you some socks. That's a multiple, okay? When you were really good at sales, they would send you, or they would sit you down. Like I flew out to Nike Town in Oregon, okay? And then certain sales tactics were presented to you. One of the things that we used to do was we would get people to agree by one nodding our head. Oh yeah, these joints right here is all right. If I get you psychologically nodding with me, that means we're priming you to agree with us before we sell you a more expensive shoe. All right? And another thing that we do was we would use your name and our hey man, what's your name? Oh, what's up? My name's such and such. My name da da. Okay, cool. We would use your name to feign a certain level of, like camaraderie. But another thing that they would do is when you're saying something that the general public would almost like slightly give you pushback on, you would smile up about it and say it in a way where you're shaking your head at the same time. That is 1,000% propaganda. That comes out of the sales, the manipulation, the fucking Saul Alinsky Rules for Radicals book. All of that shit is happening right here in this little 40-second clip. Okay? I want y'all to watch it again. Pay attention. Pay attention.
Right? Or whether it's the end goal of seizing the means of production.
Whether it's the end goal, my end goal is to seize the means of production, or whether it's our end goal to seize the means of production. It would almost be like, yeah, whether it's the end goal, towards the end of the night, we're going to rob you of all of your money. I mean, we just want to make sure that there's a robust economy. You see what I just did there? I mean, really, in essence, we want to just make sure that everyone eats and everyone can agree that everyone eating is a great thing. So, our end goal being making sure that the money that you have for your hard work comes into a community effort where we make sure that everyone eats off of your labor. And this is going to be great for America. You see that? Dale Carnegie's book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read it. Allegedly, maybe not. You never know. Okay? Big Rob says, a company I worked for years ago had us wipe the vents with a baby wipe and convinced the homeowner they needed all of the fancy indoor air quality add-ons. The key was to put it in a baggie and leave. Yep. Protocol says, so damn, he says he wants to end private ownership and end production all on tape. Yep. This ain't AI. This is not AI. He's went on, somebody get, matter of fact, Bookworm, if you can. Find me the link of him saying this, and I'm saying this just so you can put it in the official Black Guns Matter X page. There's a clip of him on The View explaining what democratic social. Yes, yeah, I'm a democratic socialist. Yes, I mean, for the people that may not be aware, we just want everyone to eat and da-da-da. Nowhere in world history has fucking socialism of any kind manifested in the way that they're talking about. It hasn't. See, the problem sometimes is too many people do too little reading. And when you have mixed sales, I sold a lot of things in my life. I read a lot of books, right? I've lived a very robust life. So when you see certain things, when I start doing media and I start reading on media and how to deal with hostile media and so forth and so on, how to get certain things, I don't even get bad media anymore, bad press, generally. Why? Because they like, this shit don't work on him. So they'll just stop trying to interview you. Okay. So when you see these things and you explain it to people and they say, hey, I'm going to sit this one out, like most men did. Most men sat out this particular election. We're going to get into all of that, though. But let me back up a little bit, guys. If you can, somebody throw it in the Bookworm, if you can, throw it in the Black Guns Matter DM. There's a clip of him on The View explaining how he's a democratic socialist. And it's okay. Because that market demographic doesn't know what democratic socialism, because you stole the word democratic on the front of it. We didn't get it all the way off with Bernie Sanders. We didn't get it all the way off with this person. So we're going to get this dude that is now Indian. There's a lot of Indian Americans, right, are doing great in America based on free market enterprise, not seizing the means of production. And it looks like you're racist if you critique him. And here's how you can critique him without looking like a racist. Don't be a fucking racist. Just critique his policies and what he uses his own words. He says he's a democratic socialist. He says the ultimate end for his team is to end and seize, take the means of production, which means if you produce something, we, as the Chinese communist, regime, takes shit, seize the means of production. Me, I hear that, I go, oh, that's communism. I've seen it in him he said it. But the general public falls victim to the little spell and the smile So when you critique people like this, critique their ideas and what they're talking about, tied into history and tied into that. But let me stop before I go further. It's The Naked Communist. That's another good one. Let me stop this, guys. I'm Maj Toure, for those of you that don't know. I am the founder of BGM and the Solutionary Center. I've taught and traveled around the country for the last decade of training in communities, whether that's gun safety, Second Amendment education, civics. Our work is cited in the Bruin decision, which is a historic Supreme Court decision. That's based on work, all right? And bringing tens of thousands of people into the liberty movement over the last however long, okay? When we look at this guy, and I'm saying this because I want you guys to understand, why should I listen to Maj? What qualifications does he has? A decade of work. Sales plays a part in this. Dealing with media for a decade plays a part in this. Hostile media. winning debates on Vice with anti-gun. You understand? So you guys should also have an understanding. I know some of y'all watch the show. Some of you are new to the show. Okay? You need to know exactly. Thank you, Texas Spy Historian with the like. Appreciate you. Everybody, let's get the likes up. Everybody in here, hit the like button. Reshare it all over the place. Guys, also support the work. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. Keep the classes going free to all. If there's 200 of you watching right now, imagine if all 200 of you donated $10. That would be awesome. But nonetheless, you guys need to know why you should fucking listen to me about these things. This is based on work. This is based on paying attention. This is based on things that are proven, things that we've actually done with our work, okay? A decade. Our political right, I am a libertarian, okay? I believe that that's the closest to what the founders of America wanted. I think Republicans are a little bit off of it right now. They're a little bit too big government for me. ANCAP would be the next phase, or ANCAP will be the next phase of somebody like me. But for all intents and purposes, for people that are not ready for that, I'm a libertarian, which makes me on the right politically. When you're on the right politically, that means the right of the political aisle. In Congress, Democrats are on the left, Republicans are on the right. Okay? Meaning, literally, your representatives are seated on the right side of the political aisle. Libertarians, independents, on that scale, libertarians will be on the right of the aisle. Okay? So, us on the right side of the political aisle are missing this because we are too focused and obsessed with online culture wars and absolute goofy shit. Things that don't necessarily matter to the same extent. And I know some of you that follow me, some of you tapping into tonight's show, I get it. Y'all like, yo, well, I think that culture matters. I think that my religion, I think that being fiscally conservative, these things are a part of my culture. And I'm not saying that that doesn't matter. I'm saying all of those things don't matter as much if you do those things and you're not highlighting, supporting, or being the person politically that's going to craft legislation that defends your cultural values. So if you're culturally conservative, right, and politically conservative, there needs to be legislation that's in alignment with your value system. Meaning, if you're conservative, you obviously would believe in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, which means the Second Amendment. You should be repealing legislation that is in violation of the Second Amendment. Politics is downstream from culture. It does not mean that you can just do the culture war and ignore the politics. It means if you are not creating politics to defend that culture back upstream, then you're going to have an erosion of all of those things as we're seeing in America now. So too many pundits and influencers focused on that part of the thing, culture wars, but they're calling culture wars bigotry. Excuse me, they're calling their bigotry culture wars in a lot of instances. So somebody will go, they can be critical of the Israeli government. And I will contend and agree that the Israeli government is leading a genocide in Palestine. That's it. It's not a complicated thing. Do I think that that speaks for all of the Jewish people? No. Jewish people in fucking Ethiopia. Okay? Sephardic Jews, not Ashkenazi Jews, which is a distinction that, again, some people don't even know. Nonetheless, this conversation without defending legislation, and you're talking about this, again, Donald Trump endorsed Cuomo, the lifelong Democrat that ran as an independent this go round for the mayoral candidacy. He did not get behind the Republican candidate that has a great story of being the founder of the Guardian Angels in the 70s to defend New York. That's a cultural story that you can lean into the politics of a limited government Republican or what they're supposed to be. No, I'm not saying they're from there, Pretty Liddy. I'm saying they are there as well, not from. So I want to add that caveat. Thank you for putting that in there, because I might have said that, not fully. So when those conservatives are obsessed too much with the culture war, then legislation and candidates and courting moderates goes out the window. Why does courting moderates go out the window? Because you are listening to pundits that say shit that are repulsive to moderates. They are repulsive to moderates. And then they look like they speak for all conservatives. So if I'm like a lot of black men that are tired of what the Democratic Party is offering, and I'm quietly looking for a political home, and then I look and it looks as if all of these right-leaning pundits are saying, or the more popular ones, are saying, damn near black people are subpar. I don't feel like I have a home there. And that's what a lot of the pundit class has been doing. I contend that a lot of those people are CIA-fed fucking plants put there to make sure that there's no unity between moderates, left and right, in alignment with limiting government. That's what I contend. So too many of these conservatives are obsessed with online culture wars, and that don't matter to the same extent. Your culture war got your ass whipped politically all across country. 1 minute you say it's not about race, but then as soon as you're not winning in the Virginia situation, you say she's a black woman, Winsome Sears running for that spot down in Virginia, right? Then you don't get behind her because all of your pundits and your media apparatus are just attacking black people, not supporting them, not supporting your candidates. So they get their ass whipped like they did. They use black people, brown people, ideology, different things as the enemy, as opposed to the real enemy, which is overreaching government and threats to freedom. You so focused on making black people bad, the pundit class, and I'm just using black as the example, it's expanding a little bit. At 1 minute, they'll say every illegal immigrant into America is a murderous, rapey criminal. They'll say that. Or they'll say all of the Jews. Or whatever. Or they say it's the blacks. The blacks are just 13% that do 50% of the crime. That's debunked. But they'll say these things, and they're using black people as the enemy individually so they can boost their ratings, because they individually on their platforms, they get the views, they get the energy, the back and forth engagement. So they do that instead of talking about the things that they should be talking about. But they don't care about that because they're not politically astute. Neither is their base. If you want to galvanize people fast, lead with bigotry. Lead with what you hate in common. Love is stronger, hate is faster. Okay? So they do that. And they don't do outreach. They don't pay attention to moderates. Trump didn't do none of that. Trump got in office by not literally doing the opposite of what all of these pundits are doing. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm saying Trump got in office and is I'm giving him a stand-up job this go around. No, I'm not doing that. Okay? But I'm talking about, how did he get in the seat? Y'all can't even get the people in the seat because you're allowing pundits, and then you double down and go, I don't have to distance myself. We're done with cancel culture, even though you just did cancel culture. When everybody that on extreme leftists made fun of Charlie Kirk's death, y'all went to go start to dox those people. So you down with cancel culture, even though you lie and say you're not. So when we say maybe it's not a good idea to stand too close to Nick Fuentes with it doesn't make sense. Politically, it's not a good political strategy. Even if you agree with his takes on the Israeli government. I agree with every smart person's take on the Israeli government in an obvious fucking death campaign. Duh, it doesn't take too much intelligence to recognize that. So when we say maybe you shouldn't stand so close to those persons, we saying it to you on the right side of the political aisle, because the smarter of us know that there are moderates that are watching that aren't as vocal. And you look like you identify with those people. You look like you're in alignment with those people. And then those moderates go, I might as well just stay over here. Or they do what they did yesterday for the New York election. They just don't show up. They just don't show up. They just go, nope. I posted something today on X, and it spoke to the literal like weakness that so many men are showcasing behind this. They're literally showcasing such a weak fucking, oh my God, you're being so fucking weak right now. Oh, I don't know what I'm going to do politically. I don't know about saying all of this stupid weak shit. Why are they saying it? Because, oh, I just feel like I can't talk about politics now. I can't talk about politics because
quickly tick through all
too
the
many
things
people told me that I just can't. I don't see that there's a way. That's another way that they get you to win. They get you to retreat from the battlefield. That's like all of the people saying, I'm going to move out of New York. Why? So the motherfucking democratic socialists, more of them that can take over that city? You fight viruses by killing the viruses where they are, fighting the virus, not by, because if you run, the virus expands. When a body part has gangrene, they catch it. If they can catch it, they cut it. Cut that one part off. If you don't cut it, and if you just let it keep running, instead of killing it, it'll continue to expand. All right? So these people are being weak. So they didn't fight. They kept reposting all over social media this culture war shit. We're fighting the culture war. And that culture war conversation usually comes from people that'll be like one-hit wonders. Okay? Their one-hit wonder energy showed up. Matt Walsh got one-hit wonder energy. I love What Is a Woman? That's a culture war piece. Then he started going into politics and he started to it was easily seen to all of us with half a brain. Main man is a fucking authoritarian that is okay with government and saying fuck the Constitution when convenient. That's what Walsh is. That doesn't make him a political elite, sharp in IQ. That means he's cosplaying. He looks like a fucking barista. He's got the flannel. He's got the beard. He looks like the weirdos in fucking Portland. He's not pushing for limited government. He's pushing for cruel and unusual punishment. These people don't even talk about the Constitution like that because they're kind of bigots too. So while we were championing all of these dudes because they talked about the culture war, talking about the transgenders, and I get how you feel about that. But as an adult, you do what you want. I'm just saying don't bring that shit in front of children. Since people agreed with that, we thought that meant that those guys like Walsh or other one-trick ponies thought their intelligence for politics went into other directions, and it doesn't. And as we can see, they don't determine the outcomes of very important local and state elections. And that is what drives policy, legislation, the candidates, and the people in positions to make decisions on your life. I was having this conversation earlier today. What Pretty Liddy just said. And this is a sidebar. We'll go into this a little bit later. If Islam takes over the US, UK, and Christianity, that's because Christians are allowing it. And I 1000% agree with that. I'll get into that a little bit later. Bookworm says these dummies got Trump in, got cocky, and started showing their true colors, as if liberals don't have a 50-year stronghold in the schools in Hollywood. And we're going to go into all of that tonight. We're going to go into it. Because this person got on The View. He did his part. He told you exactly who the fuck he was. I just played one clip. We're going to play this one here. He said exactly who he was. You didn't highlight who he was and say, hey guys, highlight our guy that's the antithesis to this. No, you got Trump in, but Trump had 40 years of branding. Trump did the opposite of what y'all are doing now with black. That's why he always seemed to make inroads in black and brown communities. Jewish communities. I think he's too deep with the AIPAC shit. They gave him $250 million for his campaign, right? I think he's too deep for sure. But he doesn't attack black, brown, Latin, Asian, Indian community. He did the Diwali thing, and that I'm not mad at that. I'm telling you that's how to win, you develop alliances. You allowed your pundits to create division. That's not how you fucking win. Because the invisible people that's just looking, the moderates, I'm not talking about having a conversation with fucking weirdo extremists that are gone. That's not what we mean. Some people that are on the left of the political aisle are still moderate. Trump is a moderate, but he's a Republican. He was raised Democrat, was a Democrat the entire time. That's why he just co-signed Cuomo, who got his ass whipped. So you didn't present. If you're not subscribed, y'all, subscribe to the channel. Most of y'all watching are not subscribed. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you're watching this on X, repost it. I can see when y'all repost it. And all y'all motherfuckers ain't reposted. Repost the joint, man. Okay? So, you didn't present your antithesis. None of the pundits told about the cultural story and got behind Sliwa, or whatever his name is, the mayoral candidate in opposition to him. Just like right now, every single one of you should be donating to, do y'all know who's running for governor in New York State in the upcoming election? Tell me, somebody type. Tell me who's running for governor. We got a Democratic socialist running New York City. Now, we have an amazing opportunity right now to get a New York native. Father was in the military. He was in the military. Larry Sharpe has done Joe Rogan's podcast. Joe Rogan likes him. Moderates like Larry Sharpe. Larry Sharpe is the guy for New York right now. Liberty-minded. Larry Sharpe. Every single one of you should be following Larry Sharpe and should be 1,000% donating to his campaign. Because if you donate to a campaign, that person can reach more people in that state. Larry Sharpe is already polling at 9% as a libertarian. And most people don't even know who the other candidates for governor are. Larry Sharpe is already polling at 9% as a libertarian candidate. That is amazing for the governorship of New York. So if a Democratic socialist gets into New York City, you should 1,000% everybody, just like we all get behind Thomas Massey every time Trump attacks the limited government guy in DC. Okay? Keimer Shadow says, don't donate to his campaign, donate to Solutionary instead. All I'm saying to you guys is, I agree. Everybody should donate to Solutionary University. I tried to quit. I tried to end it. Y'all flooded me with DMs and messages and said, don't you dare stop fundraising. So I got to finish. So Give Send Go is scrolling at the bottom. GiveSendGo.com/Solutionary. But we should all be talking about Larry Sharpe for the gubernatorial race. And then we can push back against the Democratic Socialists in New York if we get a Liberty person as the governor of New York. Okay? Let's listen to what Main Man is talking about right here. Let's listen. This is what he said. And look, he's doing the smile thing. Malcolm told us about the liberals that smile. The difference between the fox and the wolf.
Let's quickly tick through all the things that Trump said about you, and let's get that out of the way. All right, number one, he's attacking you as a communist. Are you?
No, I'm a democratic socialist. That means
he literally just said in a clip before this, our end goal is to seize the means of production. These people lie. These people lie. And he's lying. You either lying on the other clip or you're lying right here. I would contend that you're lying. It's easier for the views base and viewership to accept, oh, he's a democratic socialist. Oh, he throw the word Democrat in there. Socialism leads to communism. When you redirect or redistribute the money, it's just a matter of time before you control and seize the means of production. I'm going to say this again. Socialism is reallocating or a redistribution of wealth. Okay? You made it over here, we're going to send it to these people. That's socialism. Okay? Not voluntarism. Over time, socialism, then after a while, the people just go, we're not going to do this slavery with extra steps. We just, as the government, are going to seize the means of production. Socialism leads to communism. So when you get on the view, you say, oh, I'm not a communist, because technically he can identify that. He can say, I'm a democratic socialist. But if my outcome is the same, seizing the means of production, it's all going to the same place. It's like when you eat food and it's neatly separated on your plate, if you eat it at the same time, once it gets in your gullet, it's going to be mixed in with your fucking stomach acid. It's going to the same place, regardless of how cute you got it separated on the plate.
He's attacking you as a communist. Are you?
no, I'm a democratic socialist. That means I believe in dignity for all people.
That's not what fucking democratic socialism means. And it's a nice answer. And now here's a backdrop, guys. I want y'all to notice something. When you do a TV show like this, as a person that's been on these TV shows and a person that has been in the audience of these TV shows. I remember I was in the audience of the TV show years ago for the show Girlfriends. I was in LA. This is the time when I always tell the story about when I got invited to this spirit cooking. Jesus, it was a whole nother thing. But nonetheless, I was in LA for this. And I got a ticket to be in the studio audience of Girlfriends. And I was there. They have a person that claps first to get other people to clap. Usually, it's either from the studio or that person brings their person with them. So when it's a studio audience, they clap first to get everybody else to clap because they want the viewership, the people that are not in the audience, the millions of people, to think that the people in the audience agree with this statement and it's a good thing. This is a slick tactic that media does. When we sell a shirt that says most effective devil in America, I'm not saying that to be funny. When we sell a shirt that says fuck socialism, fuck communism, we're not saying this shit to be funny, just to sit like cool slogans. We're telling you we are in a propaganda war. So watch, pay attention and listen.
That means I believe in dignity. No, I'm a democratic.
Attacking you as a communist, are you?
No, I'm a democratic socialist. That means I believe in dignity for all people.
It means more.
Did you hear it? Then other people follow. This is cat. This is cat. Let's play it again.
That Trump said about you, and let's get that out of the way. All right, number one, he's attacking you as a communist. Are you?
No, I'm a democratic socialist. That means I believe in dignity for all people.
It means more than that.
Yeah, I think.
She said it means more than that.
You're not a communist. I agree with that.
No, I'm not a communist. And I think, a lot of New Yorkers have asked me, what does it mean that you're a democratic socialist?
Yeah.
And I tell them to think about the words of Dr. King from decades ago. He said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There has to be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country.
That's slick. This motherfucker's slick. So now I evoke an emotional response, almost like if you disagree with Dr. Martin Luther King, you're evil. Never mind that Dr. Martin Luther King was a Marxist. We ain't got to get into it. I'm not arguing with y'all about Dr. Martin Luther King. I'm more of a Malcolm man myself. Okay? I don't believe in nonviolence. I'll fuck you right up. That's it. Okay? I'll hit you. I 1000% will hit you. Okay? Okay? Listen to what Oz Money just said. I was in a Jerry Springer audience years ago, and every reaction from the audience was carefully controlled. I'm telling y'all, it's cat. People like this dude are very, very, they're very valuable. He just emoted the Dr. King thing. Dr. King was a fucking trained Marxist. Bayard Rustin, a lot of his team around him. Again, I'm not knocking. The civil rights movement, civil rights kind of got us out of human rights. Civil rights are granted by governments. Human rights are granted by your creator. You get civil rights when your human rights are not being respected. But if the views audience and viewership doesn't understand that, when he says a milquetoast answer that makes sense to them, it's like the phrase common sense gun control. Okay? That common sense gun control sounds good, but that's not really what it means. No, I'm a democratic socialist, which means I believe in the dignity for all people. And then even this chick, Joy, whatever her name is, says, well, it means more than that. And then he elaborates. And then he evokes Dr. Martin Luther King. And he literally is still telling you, I am with the transfer of wealth from one group to another. And then you tied it into the clip from later. And we're talking about seizing the means from earlier, that clip that I played, seizing the means of production.
That Trump said about you, and let's get that out of the way. All right, number one, he's attacking you as a communist. Are you?
No, I'm a democratic socialist. That means I believe in dignity for all people.
It means more than that.
Yeah, I think
You're not a communist. I agree with that.
No, I'm not a communist. And I think, a lot of New Yorkers have asked me, what does it mean that you're a democratic socialist?
Yeah.
And I tell them to think about the words of Dr. King from decades ago. He said, call it democracy or call it democratic socialism. There has to be a better distribution of wealth for all of God's children in this country.
It's so beautiful. It's a beautiful PR spin. It's wonderful. I love it. I love a good chess move. It's like being in a fight with somebody that can't fight. I can't fight them for real. Somebody that can fight, and then when I win, oh man, fucking to break a person's soul that was a adequate or worthy adversary, I love it. So when I see good chess moves like this, I go, look, that's the chess move. Meanwhile, you're talking about all of this other shit. Your pundits that look like they're speaking for you are repulsing Democrats or Democrats that want to leave, that are looking for a different political home. They're repulsing them, and this guy gets the win. He's quoted Dr. Martin Luther King. He told you he's with the redistribution of wealth, and he told you, let's play it again. He said it. He said, our ultimate end, let's play it. Our ultimate end is what?
And we have to ensure that we are unapologetic about our socialism. There are also other issues that we firmly believe in, whether it's BDS, right? Or whether it's the end goal of seizing the means of production.
The end goal of seizing the means of production. It's slick, bro. It's super slick. Now, here's where it gets crazy. You were conservatives that were obsessed with online culture wars and nonsense and things that don't matter. Some made black people the enemy, Indian people the enemy, while ignoring those real threats to freedom. That dude is he will use the power of the state to be a threat to your freedom. Socialism and communism, 1000% is that. Meanwhile, socialism is growing. It's not difficult to acknowledge. It's not a rough time. The guy that's now in control of New York is a democratic socialist, the biggest financial mecca in potentially the world. He's in control of it. Y'all aren't even addressing the shit. Or y'all might complain about him once he gets in office. But you did nothing to use your platforms or the pundits or the influencers. I'm telling you all, every single person should be behind, every one of my followers should be behind Larry Sharpe for New York. All of the shit that he tries, Mamdani, Larry will go, no, thank you. It's not liberty. It's not Constitution. No, thank you. Larry, we should have a libertarian as governor of New York. We should. But our side wasn't playing this game right. We was fighting the right fight, but in the wrong space. Can I explain why socialism is a threat to freedom? Yes. Socialism always leads to communism. So if you think of socialism as a political ideology that redistributes the wealth. So if I make $1,000 as a 10-year-old and I go out and I cut the grass for, a week in the summer and I make $1,000, but my brother didn't go. And my parents say, well, your brother didn't go because he had whatever he was doing. Don't you think it's okay to give your brother maybe $200 because he's your brother? And then I go, no, he didn't go out there and cut the grass with me. And then my parents say, no, you're going to give your brother $200 because that's what we do in this family. That is socialism. That deters me from saying, why the fuck would I go do it this way and let my parents know, the governing body of our household? Why would I let them know that I made money if they're going to tell me that I got to give it to my brother and his lazy ass ain't even wake up this summer? Now I'm going to sell weed or candy and I'm going to hide my money, and I'm definitely not letting my parents know because they're going to redistribute the wealth that I generated off of my labor, which is what you own, my labor that I should be able to sell at whatever price that I want. They're going to redistribute the money that I made, which is a trinket, a unit of measure. That's how you can count dollars, as units of labor. Some people sell their time or their labor for a certain amount per hour. Some sell it based on their skill set. Some based on how long the job will take, how much work I got to do, whichever way it is. So I have units of measure in the form of dollars that now you're telling me I got to give to my brother. Now the black market's going to thrive because we want to stay away from fucking mom and dad telling me I got to reallocate funds to this motherfucker that ain't put in on this. That's socialism. Now, after a while, if I keep cutting grass and I get stronger and stronger and stronger, and then I tell my parents, no, I am not giving my brother any of this hard-earned money. And they're seriously gotta like, no, this is what we do. And then they say, you know what? You're grounded. We're taking your lawnmower and we're giving it to your brother. And we're gonna make him do the job. And now he's gonna give you some of his money because that's what we want. That is seizing the means of production. That is communism. Socialism leads to communism, leads to so-called black market. No, I don't want the government telling me I got to give money back to fucking taxes. The government had local, state, or federal government had nothing to do with this job that I've created, these resources that I've garnered from this job, nor the employees that I pay. But I'm supposed to give them a cut. I might as well sell coke. That's where the underground market economy goes. As opposed to in a free market enterprise with limited government, with limited taxation, businesses flourish. Cepha 9132 says, so does capitalism lead to black market? No. Restrictions on capitalism, over-regulation leads to the black market. Okay? Over-regulation. When I am the person that is doing the lawn mowing, that's the job. Okay? And then the government says I got to get him a cut. And then they say I got to pay my Obamacare. You got to pay for his thing. You got to pay your brother $200 out of that $1,000 that you made. And then I go, I got to pay for oil and gas for the lawnmower. I got to redo the blades. That's cool. You do that out of the other money. But you got to give that to this and you got to give to that. Okay? That's a redistribution of wealth. That's theft, government, because they didn't put in on this. We do not have a contract. Now I go, shit, I'm selling weed now. And I'm not telling my parents. I'm not telling the governing body. Then they ground me for selling weed. Okay? Socialism leads to, and communism and all of those overreaching government are things that interfere with free market enterprise. And I say free market enterprise instead of capitalism, because the term capitalism came from like this, actually from like the what do you call them? Like commie words. That's like a commie word, right? But y'all get what I mean. In theory and practice, free market enterprise. If you didn't put on this, you don't get a cut of this. And if more companies are doing that without being overtaxed and overregulated, you got to buy this license to even do this. You got to pay your fee. You got to pay this tax. That is overregulation. Then I go, I might as well just sell coke. Let's flip it. In selling coke, if coke was lawful to be sold, there would be less violence associated with it. The black market for it would damn near disappear because it could just be sold. And people that, if heroin was legal tomorrow, most of you wouldn't buy it. You just be like, no, I don't want any fucking heroin. So these are the things that why when somebody says, I'm a democratic socialist, I go, oh, you're leading us into communism. Especially when they say, our end goal is seizing the means of production. That is flat out communism. So instead of having this conversation and highlighting a America first, free market enterprise, pro-constitution candidate, we've let our pundits fight in all of this other shit. We got our pundits making the black people the enemy. And socialism continues to grow. These young generations feel hopeless, man. It's been so much over-regulation that they feel like they can't even, I mean, study came out today. The average age of now a homeowner is now 40 instead of 31 as it was 10 or 20 years ago. So now you don't, no, wait, let's look at what Point Blank said. Granted, once you make a certain amount of money, you should want to give it back in some way, but no one should force you to distribute your hard-earned funds. I contend that if you make a certain amount of money and you're creating jobs for people to take care of their family, that is a form of giving back. If I create a company that does $100 million a year and I create $20 million worth of employee payments out of an idea. Apple is a $1 trillion company and it employs tens of thousands of people across the supply chain. That brings more people out of poverty than damn near anything else. Okay? So I'm saying this to say, if our focus, the reason why the other shit happens because government go give me a cut. Y'all got to remember, government doesn't make anything. Government exists by theft, by taking your money and then saying we're going to pay the fire department with it. We're going to pay the police. That is a form of socialism. I took money from you and redistributed it. You didn't, let me ask y'all something. How many of you opted in and said, I want my tax dollars to go towards the police? You didn't. I didn't ask y'all for this shit. I don't want it. Can I opt out? Can I opt out? Yes. I don't want it. Cool. This phone number can never call 911. I don't want it. No, they take money through theft. Taxation is theft. And they redistribute it and they say it's for the common good. That is by definition. And in most economies, there's a mixed economy. But that's a certain level of socialism to the extent. But that socialism is growing in those because of government overreach, because of more money printing. Our people on the right aren't talking about that. The Federal Reserve Bank, just massive money printing. I keep saying this, 2024, the United States dollar lost 10% of its all-time value in 1 year. Student loan debt, no path to home ownership, can't afford children. They're just looking for something that sounds better because the same school system that the socialism dollars went to didn't tell them what fucking socialism is. So they think, oh, this guy Mamdani sounds right. We do want people to have dignity. They don't understand that nothing is a human right that is created based on the labor of someone else. I'll say that again. The school system that is financed by tax dollars, taxation, the public indoctrination system doesn't say it's not a human right if it requires another's labor. It's not a human right. So you hear these concepts from a Mamdani that sounds good. Your school never taught you about Mao, about communism in Vietnam, and da-da-da-da-da-da. They didn't tell you about none of that. He sounds like it sounds good, but then when I go, that's not what that shit means. So then the young people vote for him. And then in 10 years, New York is in Venezuela-like fucking conditions. But our pundits on the right were arguing about shit transgenders. The trannies got mental issues. They don't need guns. What the fuck? Where does it say that in the Second Amendment, you meat gobbler? We're arguing about that while a democratic socialist gets on daytime television and tells soccer moms this is what democratic socialism means. Informing propaganda the general public. Now the young people, 87% of Gen Z women voted for Mamdani in New York. Most of the men tapped out. I ain't fucking with this. They take a nihilistic approach. And when they take that nihilistic approach, they don't fight and be involved. I saw so many people over the last few days talking about, oh, I just don't see a way out. And that, yeah, they want you to be nihilistic. I'm not going to be nihilistic. That's a part of the reason why I'm not going to quit fundraising. The Solutionaries told me, and the Solutionary now, keep going. Fuck it. If you raise money, do some classes, whatever, but maybe something else will show up, but whatever. Keep going. I'm not going to stop. It's not a human right if it requires somebody else's labor. Socialism leads to communism. Communism internationally and globally, geopolitically, historically, has led to massive levels of fucking death and plunder all of the time. I don't give a fuck what face you put on it. And when you have this rise of the socialism because of these things, and you're not reading enough, you don't study history, the children can't read, you take civics out, then you turn it into social studies. Social studies not there no more. These young people don't have an understanding of what money is. People think that those Federal Reserve notes in your wallet is actually money. By definition, it's not. That's why I say this is legal tender for all debts, public and private. It's not actual money. So all of this is going on. This is why we made a civics class. This is why we made an understanding imminent threat class. This is why we got a Bitcoin class coming to Solutionary University. That's why I'm telling y'all, hey, every single body should be donating, helping pay it forward for somebody else, and you get access to Solutionary University and all of these video modules. We have to inform the people and then give them direction. Do not fall out of this political fight. Local, state, federal, stay in it. Voluntarism. So we were able to do all of our work because people gave voluntarily. That's all. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary is you volunteering. Hey, if you donate this and we do this with it, we'll give you this. Does that sound fair to you? And you go, all right, Maj, I like the cut of your jib. I like what you're doing. I'll donate to that. And in essence, I get this for that now. I donated. I helped somebody. I practice cooperative economics. I know that you guys are teaching about individual liberties and rights that actually defend the collective idea that we have as Americans. Absolutely. And I get something for donating? Absolutely. I got you, Maj. That's voluntarism in action. But they are tricking people. They make sure that you don't know. You don't read. This is not by accident. So then they got a charismatic Indian guy, and it looks like it's okay. Meanwhile, MAGA, let's read this. Dear MAGA, American Hindus were the only immigrant group that supported real American values. Sidebar, before I finish. Americans outperform every other ethnic American group. As far as median income in America, it's Indian Americans. It's not even close. So when motherfuckers be like, oh, it's the white people got, no, it's Indian Americans. It's them. Indian Hindus were the one immigrant group that supported real American values. They believed in education, setting up businesses. They didn't go get on food stamps. They wouldn't go close to gangs, crime, and drugs. This is the reason Indian Hindus were the one immigrant group despised by the American left, which is true. Unfortunately, in your wave of racist hatred, this is the one group you came after the hardest. You know why? Because going after Indian Hindus was super easy. You know why it was easy? Because American Hindus were despised by the same leftists you hate. So there was no institution to protect them from racism and xenophobia. You deserve Comrade Mamdani and his government-run ration shops. Enjoy. When I was telling y'all, hey, I just saw fucking, what's his name? Dinesh D'Souza say, oh, the hate that Vivek Ramaswamy is getting is out of control because Dinesh D'Souza is Indian. But Dinesh D'Souza, as a conservative, had no problem being super disrespectful to Black Americans. Since he was in college writing articles, Dinesh D'Souza was an asshole. Because what happens a lot of times is sometimes Indian Americans or other racial groups come into America and they emulate what they see, who is the other and who's up and who's down. So we make fun of this group and we emulate that group. And that's what Dinesh did. And I keep telling y'all conservatives, you're going to lose. You don't have 40 years of built-in branding that Trump had to withstand the dumb shit. And even when he's running a campaign, he does not do any of that stupid shit. He actually does the opposite. I was in the White House right in front of Trump, hiding from the cameras when he said, African Americans built this nation. But you listen to Matt Walsh, and he said it was built all by white Americans. Trump, literally, I was there. African Americans built this nation. We all had a hand in it, but you did it. You did it too. We all did it together. But you said it had a massive hand And you're just starting to get credit for it right now. I was right there. So he says that, and then the pundits and the conservatives don't emulate that and say, we could all work together. Black people had a solid hand in building America. This is a salad. As long as you come in and assimilate with the ideas of freedom and liberty and limited government, you're an American. We streamline the lawful immigration process. We check the budget. We stop spending on all of these foreign nations. We import our safest, smartest, best, and brightest that want to come and assimilate with this idea, and they practice their own religion, their own culture. That's a part of American culture. Because a motherfucker say, oh, they Muslim. As if America wasn't founded on the ideal of freedom of religion. See, y'all got the game fucked up, and y'all be listening to people that's stupid, that can't give you a fuller, nuanced take, because they battling their own bigotry demons. But they got a microphone and a big following. So now we got very few people informing the general public. The school system definitely didn't fucking do it. Now you got a charismatic dude that's smiling on The View, literally saying, I'm going to transfer and redistribute the wealth, and we're going to seize the means of production. And the clap happens. Liberals done captured the schools and maintain a stronghold in media. Republicans think it's over just because Trump back in office. That's how goofy shit get. And then some of us that was saying it the whole time kept getting kicked off of social media for telling the truth. Y'all want to act like we somehow, oh, you hating on Fuentes. You must be mad that Matt Walsh made that 15-minute video about you, Maj. You mad that Jason Whitlock won't have... No, these people are not interested in presenting solutions. They just want to tap dance and like do their little engagement clickbait shit to get you to add to their shit. I could pick a side and my fame would blow out the frame. I know that. That's not what America needs. America needs solutionaries. America needs people to say, that's bullshit, even when it's from our so-called side. So when all of these neocon pundits was making Matt Walsh all day, we should have never let Somalians into America. All day, they say it. Name one good thing that helped it. And I'm not saying that the Somalians that you're getting is because you're not talking about civics and limiting government. You mad that they are fucking doing the morning prayer enunciations in Minnesota. But when was the last time? Okay, church bells go off every goddamn morning. They annoying as hell too. But it's in alignment with the value system of a faith. America is founded on freedom of religion. That's why the Fourth Amendment was, we will not make a church linked with the state. So instead of highlighting these things, you make it easier for fucking Comrade Mamdani, whatever his name is. Your pundits aren't there to help strengthen and unify Americans under the ideal of freedom and limited government. They are there, Bookworm just said it, they are there to enrich themselves. And some of us solutionaries are in it to enrich the nation, enrich our free market enterprise, limiting government, strengthening the US dollar, making home ownership great again. I want motherfuckers buying homes at 25. Y'all know how old I was when I bought my first house? I was 19. I lied to you not. Okay? But we're not talking about the right things. We're villainizing the wrong things. Mamdani killed New York. Democrats broke the GOP supermajority in Mississippi Senate. In Mississippi. I want to say that again. In Mississippi, red-ass Mississippi, Democrats broke the GOP supermajority. The Pennsylvania court is blue. In Pennsylvania, where I live, it's blue as hell now. These are all examples of what happens when the right focuses on stupid shit instead of building and uniting around freedom and liberty. I've been telling y'all for some time now. This is what happens. You get this. This is what you get. Comrade Mamdani. People who care about American values should be coming together, not giving attention to people that divide and create chaos. I want you right now, if you still follow the Con Inc. motherfuckers, listen, don't tap into my show. Go watch they shit. Because it's the things that I'm saying going to fucking offend you or confuse you. Now, if you're really trying to be objective and nuanced, absolutely, this is the place for you. But the only reason why certain, man, they cherry pick. They cherry pick. They're not interested in strengthening America. They don't do anything. They don't teach anything. They don't serve Americans. They just sit behind the microphone. The people who care about American values should be coming together. I want you to stop, actually. I kind of do want you to stop listening to these people. Stop giving these motherfuckers attention, bro. This division. Focus just on freedom, limited government, and real action. Fuck socialism. We got a whole dope ass shirt. Says it. Go blackgunsmatter.shop. Go over there and get it. Otherwise, this is our fate. Clowns like this. And I don't mean clown in the sense of like ignorant. His family's loaded. This person ain't stupid. This person isn't stupid, man. And the people backing him are not stupid. I would question why Trump pressured Eric Adams to drop out of the fucking New York City race, mayoral race. Just for him to get behind fucking Cuomo? The granny killer? This doesn't make sense. Listen, guys. Join the Solutionary 9. Okay? If you're serious about defending freedom, liberty, stop complaining and start fucking acting. A democratic socialist is in charge of the financial capital of America, potentially the world. Join Solutionary University. How do you do that? Donate $99 or more. If we're talking about cooperative economics, we're talking about voluntarism, we got an excellent opportunity right now. Every single person that donates $99 or more, you get all of the classes, the strategies, this community designed to equip real patriots to protect liberty and take action. This can't just, and that includes civics, that includes local, state, and national politics. This is where you learn skills and tactics that actually matter, not this keyboard warrior shit, pointing finger shit. We've been pointing fingers and the pundits been pointing fingers for the last, since Trump got in office. How has that helped us with a political win? It hasn't. And I mean, again, I'm libertarian. I'm saying I am on the right of the political aisle. America's not over. Stop listening to these weak-ass pundits and nihilists. That's not how the fucking Rocky movie goes. In every Rocky movie, he take a whipping and keep on ticking. Lose, win, draw, you get knocked down 7, you get up 8. That's the American story. America's not over. It's just being taken for fucking granted. That's what's happening. If it was America was over, right? It wouldn't be still be influxes of motherfucker like, shit, I'm getting over to America. Do not sit back during this time. Don't take this L in New York or in those other political losses to the left. Don't take that as the end. Step up, get involved. Join the fight. Be a solutionary. If these people are not solutionaries, I'm going to keep it a buck with you. If they just picking a side, if they're not nuanced, if they're not objective, if they're not doing something in the community, if they're not leaning you in towards solutions, they're not solutionaries and they fucking wrong. We have to build the network and the community, which is what we have of people that are going to work together. Somalian, Muslim, Christian. You got to actually be the ideal of what America says we are on paper. Limiting government, fiscal responsibility, developing skills and trades. This is what all of the stuff that we have at Solutionary University. It's 346 of us watching, and I love that we have such a small audience right now. I love it. I love talking to 300-400 of y'all every night, Monday through Friday. Subscribe to the channel for sure. Turn the notifications on, 1000%. I love it because we get to build right now. I don't need 20,000 people a night coming in looking for basic bitch low IQ answers. We have full answers that we've made very, very simplistic that you can voluntarily help others to gain access to be a part of this community for a lifetime. And it's only $99, not $99 a week, one time. Help us, help other people, and you help yourself. If that's the type of person that it may be smaller amounts, but our power. During the American Revolution, that's where the 3%er comes from. Only 3% of the fighters in the Revolutionary War bust a gun. We don't need massive amounts of people. We need strong people that want to improve and really want to live the American ideal and create force multipliers. That's what we need from you guys. It's 50 of y'all tonight. I want everybody to go over to givesendgo.com/solutionary. I want to get you enrolled in Solutionary University. I want you to get this transformative information in video module form. You watch them at your leisure. You take a quiz after everything. You stop, you pause, you come back to where it is. Share this with your family. Mamdani gets in office when actual patriots and solutionaries are not spreading limited government, liberty-based freedom ideology, and it should permeate all of your family and friends. I want every single one of you to go over to givesendgo.com/solutionary. It's scrolling at the bottom. If you're watching on X, it's my pinned post right above me. And donate. Can't give 100 because you don't want it, whatever. Cool. You want to donate? I don't want to donate, but I want to support. Go to blackgunsmatter.shop, buy some merch. Either way, every donor over $100, I'm going to get you access to Solutionary University. You want to just donate $20? Cool, do that too. My point in saying this is I would rather all of us help us get over this hump, this fundraising goal, the end of it, and you get something for your support, okay? We can't complain about Mamdani getting in office if we aren't doing everything to make sure we're creating a space where it damn near is impossible for a person to openly say they are a democratic socialist with an end goal of seizing the means of production. That's crazy work. Crazy work. And we ain't got nobody to blame but ourselves, but that's very liberating because that means we are the solution. GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I want to thank you all for tapping in tonight. Share the space all over the place. I'm going to DM with y'all for the rest of the evening. Shoot me a DM on whatever platform. Repost on X. Subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/Maj2Ray. Rumble.com/Maj2Ray. X is Maj2Ray999. And donate at GiveSendGo.com/solutionary. I appreciate you all. I'll see you all tomorrow outside of the people that's going to DM me. You got questions about Solutionary University, the Solutionary 9, shoot me a DM or email on whatever platform, and I'll talk to you all until midnight. Be safe, be solution.